Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Yume Nikki 3D by developer Zykoff Eddie. This is one of the most pervasive games when it comes to abstract, surreal, I don't know if we should go so far as to say horror, but perhaps adventure that is so borderline strange that it almost could seem like horror to some. It's just definitely out there. Yume Nikki, as you might know, I already covered it on the channel. This one came out of nowhere. I had no idea this was even in development. I saw this show up on freeindiegame.es or gam.es, and I chose to go ahead and grab it because I had a feeling I would see a lot of requests for this one. So I have basically no knowledge as to exactly what this is going to do differently from the original Yume Nikki, which, as you'll know, was quite 2D. In fact, I believe it was RPG Maker was made in. So this is a 3D engine with still some 2D sprites, and I believe a lot of the same characteristic vibe to it, so very out there, very surreal, wild stuff, and hopefully we'll get into some pretty strange adventures. I'm excited. Let's do it. Alright, start! Instructions: collect 6 effects and 3 keys to finish the game. Save your game at the desk when you wake up. Controls: WASD to move. E, use open, pick up. Shift, use effect. Okay, so there's effects. I gotta remember shift is important. Spacebar to jump and enter for a menu. Alright, so hopefully that shouldn't be too hard to remember all of that, because there's really not all that much to remember. Okay, so we are in our room, as we were in the old 2D version of Yume Nikki. There's the usual stuff. We've got our desk, we've got our chair, we've got our bed, little picture on the wall. We've got our, I guess this was like a Super Nintendo in the original one, but now some sort of hot pink game console, it looks like. And I'm going to see what I can interact with here in this room. No to the door. That door actually reminds me a lot of a door from the actual game. I believe it had a very similar design on it. And doors are a big deal. If you haven't played Yume Nikki, I'm not exactly an expert or anything, but there are a lot of doors. That's what I remember. So, okay, we can play Space Age Love Song on the console by Seagull Software 2013. Let's give that a try, I guess. Alright, so it's a space shooter, like 2-bit style. Pretty classic retro design. Some good chiptunes going in the background. Wasn't really expecting to have an actual game to play here. I don't remember if there was a game in the original game. A game in the games. We're getting so meta here. Getting kind of ahead of ourselves, perhaps. So, so far this is entirely something I can handle. Is this going to get harder, or does this even matter? I imagine if I get a high enough score in this, maybe something will happen. Did I win? No. There's little dog heads still coming down. They're probably spaceships, but it looked like a dog head to me. Dog heads and lamps, I guess we'll call them. Looks like upside down lamps falling. Oh, I missed that one. And we get the Mega Man explodey sound. So 400 points. I don't know how good I did, but or how well I did. I think I did well enough for the purposes of this game anyway, since we're not here to play Nintendo games necessarily. So game saved. Okay, excellent news. Let's look at our bookshelf. Nothing to do there. Anything in the garbage? Oh, I saved the game again. Can we go out on the deck? We can, or the I don't know, sort of like a porch sort of thing, but like up in the air, on the side of an apartment building with very strange sort of salmon-colored walls, plenty of ventilation shafts or some sort of heating units, and hang our clothes off of here. These slippers. So we've got all the details that Yume Nikki had, and of course a really interesting fusion of, you know, the 2D sprite art up against 3D geometry, which I think is often an interesting look. I don't see a lot of games do it, but I think when they do it, usually comes across pretty cool. So we can jump, by the way. We can't jump over the balcony, which is probably a good idea, or over the railing anyway. And let's head back in here. The main thing that I think we're going to be excited to do is to do a little bit of dream exploration. So I guess we will head to bed and see what happens. So 1, 2, 3, here we go. Alright, we have entered some sort of cracked pane of glass world. Looks like normal world, but more cracked, I suppose. Let's go inside. Can we? We can't do that. Alright, what can we do then? Maybe this time we're supposed to jump over? No, it doesn't look like we can do that either. Oh, I can go inside. I just sort of missed or something. We don't have our little note paper, so we can't save. I'm gonna guess probably this time we can go through the door. That sort of seems like, yeah, alright, I figured. And here is the doorway area. This is a very interesting way to lay things out, and I always found this to be particularly entertaining, that there's all these choices, and we have no idea what any of them are going to do. Let's go to this one. Oh, goodness. Alright, the music's picked up. Oh, great. This is... Look at the animation on that. That's really cool. This is like a really strange fusion of retro, almost like Castlevania-esque sprite art on the ground and walls, and then, you know, it's all in 3D, so get a little bit the best of both worlds, perhaps. And it's really quite vibrant, actually. It's a way of portraying a game that you don't see it done all that often, and I like it quite a bit. It actually seems surprisingly cohesive. Although I have to say the music seems a little bit out of place, perhaps. Maybe a little bit more upbeat than I would have expected for such a melancholy game, or at least that's the atmosphere that I tend to believe is the prevalent one. Wow, that is a really cool piece of sprite art. I want to go... Can I go through this? Is this interactable? It doesn't really look like it. There's a little seam on the side, which made me think maybe it is, but no, it doesn't seem to be doing much. Moving around, seeing if there's any other doorways. I'm sure I passed that one before, and I could probably fall in the water. Choosing not to. Seeing what it is that we can actually touch or mess with. None of these doors seem to do anything. They are also a little bit higher than me, so we're just going to keep walking around. Now, what I read about this was that it's actually not so much a straight adaptation, but like a remix with added stuff to it. So it takes a lot of what might make the original Yume Nikki interesting, and goes beyond that a little bit. I'm just going to check each door just to make sure there's not just one that I might be able to go through just to mess with me. Seems like something that could happen, right? This area totally has such a Castlevania vibe. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm getting that vibe. Let's keep going. Where is this going to end? Alright, we've got another little door. Now, this is the thing I never quite picked up on when I played the original, was that there... Oh, this is weird. There's little islands everywhere. There was apparently some sort of way that all the things connected together, and I figured hopefully we could walk across that. This is reminding me a little bit of like Dragon Warrior or something with these little dungeons. Oh, it's even got the sound effect and everything. Now, when it comes to a surreal game, I think you could do a lot worse than this. So far, I'm finding this really engaging, and the art is just as compelling as the concept, which is a thing that I really strive to look for in games that I cover in this series. You really don't know where this is going to go at all. Yup, indeed. Question mark, question mark, question mark, all the way across. Alright, so that's, I guess, the end of that. Can I turn around and go the other way? Do I need to come back and investigate that later with some sort of other tool? There are effects again on shift, I have to remember. My effect right now is I can sit down. That doesn't really seem to help me very much. And there is even lighting, which is a thing that I wasn't necessarily expecting to see. Now, the original definitely... It felt like it was going in the direction of vague horror. Oh, okay, well, there's our first hint at that, perhaps. Is this an NPC, or does this guy want to fight me? No, it just says 8-bit. Hey, we unlocked some 8-bit, I guess. We could sit down and think about that for a moment. I prefer to go through this door. Okay, so now we're up above, and this is going to be untraversable. This gap is far too large. I'm not going to be able to cross that, so I guess I'm going to have to find a better way around. Is there anything else up here worth seeing or doing? Nope, I think this is going to wrap me back around to the original place. Maybe now that I know I can walk on water, should that... Yeah, okay, I guess that's not really a thing that I should worry about, so in the future I will keep that in mind. If I feel like walking on water, we'll just go ahead and do that. So we will head back to the door again, and perhaps to our little islandscape, and see if maybe this will connect with one of the other regions, which I won't know necessarily until I go back to the door area, and then... Oops, accidentally decided to sit down there. And then we'll see if we can connect to something else that way. Let's see what this crazy thing over here is. It looks like... I couldn't tell if it was like a scary bull head with like... Oh, I think it is actually something like that. Gums, like a lot of gums, or it might just be like a... I don't know, there's a couple ways to see it. I'm also seeing like an owl or something holding a towel. An owl with a towel. Can I talk to you? Oh, geez. Okay, well, I guess it's teleported us to another world altogether, full of slightly more somber music. That last one, like I said, was very upbeat. This one, not so much. And some labyrinthian stone corridors, which seem almost Escher-like in the way that they're wrapping around into each other. What's up there? Like a mysterious hole in the ceiling. I guess we can't really go that way. Anything below us? Oh, that looks like an infinite fall, maybe. I can't quite see all the way straight down, so it's hard to say. which is a good decision, because honestly, if I could look straight down, you would tell that our main character is actually completely flat. So we probably want to avoid that. So moving on, is there anything else to see here? Okay, we've got a little bit more wrapping tunnel stuff going on. Is this just going to lead me back around in a circle? Oh, dead end. Okay, I wasn't expecting that to happen. Can I interact with plants? Oh, I can climb up on the plant. Probably not something I really need to do. Am I supposed to fall in one of these? I guess we could just see... Oh no, there's actually a wall. I was planning on actually falling in. So let's go up this time and see if that goes anywhere. And just kind of hop, skip, and jump all the way. Completely forgotten at this point where I came from originally. Oh, hopefully that's not too bad. What is that door doing? Someone's got, like, creepy eyes on it. Can I, like, fall down there? No, guess not. Okay, still looking around for more ways up. Looks like all paths do lead up, as well as down, depending on which direction you feel like going at the moment. Oh, smoke corridor. Okay, let's see what that's about. We've been transported to a very strange ceramic tile world where I don't know what's going on here. We will walk around in this and see if these will turn into smoke monsters from Lost and probably suck the life out of me. Is that a thing? Stop. Okay. Done. Now what? Can I jump this? No. Alright, I guess this is just a labyrinth that I'm going to need to navigate, and that's probably why the view distance is so short, to make sure that I have a really frustrating time navigating this. So no smoking. I guess this is the smoking room. Now, if I remember correctly, Yume Nikki is supposed to be about a very traumatized little girl with some serious stuff going on in her mind, and she's sort of coming to some sort of catharsis about all the things going on in her life, sort of living through these surreal worlds, which are just sort of metaphorical for, you know, things that are going on. So I guess this would be a place where you would apply something fairly literal to kind of drive home the point that that is exactly what we're doing. And again, this is an adaptation, not necessarily directly like a port of it or like an upgrade to it, so I don't know if the message is going to necessarily be the same, but that's just what I'm taking from it so far, because why else would a room like this exist if not for it being a metaphor? Have I made it through most of this? These labyrinths were quite common in just about every area in Yume Nikki. Okay, well, another stop sign. What about in this direction? I'd like to maybe clear the fog out if we could, like, reach a lever or something, if that would be possible. Oh, what's going on? There's a door. Is that where I started? I am so lost. I've literally no idea where I am. Okay, looks like I've reached that. If this is where I started, then I guess that was a real waste of time, but if it's not, then hooray. We will find out in just a moment when we reach this door. Okay, what's going to happen? Okay, no, it is a new place entirely. Okay, so we've got some sort of garish wallpaper and a very strange floor plan, which might be a mansion. This is actually reminding me a lot of LSD Dream Emulator. Well, I guess the whole game kind of does a little bit, but... Oh, also a little bit Alice in Wonderland. I mean, that is sort of like the subtext to this, right? I mean, any kind of adventure-y game featuring a little girl, it's all about, like, this exploration, discovery, growing as a person. And I guess there are some themes that are tied together with that sort of a feeling. But I guess I was looking at the, like, kind of modern Japanese home setting, which is not this, but I mean in general, where you start in your Yume Nikki household. Oh, this is reminding me a lot of the Doom engine. I remember these lamps. I would make these all the time. They were, you know, obviously sci-fi, not just like house lamps, but this lighting pattern I would do all the time. You just take a little vertex, you drag it out from there, put it on the wall, and then you go across, and you just link the vertex to the wall and do it over here. And the textures would actually, I think you had to make a new texture for each corner. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while. Got milk? Okay, I guess that's a strange refrigerator, if that's what that is. It has refrigerator handles, but it's like made out of some sort of particle board, which is not your typical... Oh my goodness, what am I doing here? Okay, I can sit down in this little music box and turn in circles. This is actually kind of deep in a way. Sort of a cinematic way that I actually wasn't expecting to see, and I can actually hop out of the music box. I am now a tiny, tiny girl. And what am I going to do with that information? Not a whole lot, apparently. I like this, is it a swan, or... No, it's not a swan, it's like a... some sort of goose, maybe, or... I don't know, whatever. Keep going. Alright, so I guess that's all we get to see in that room. Very, atmospheric, very foreboding sense going on in this area. It's, probably one of the most tense areas, despite being somewhat benign looking. And then there's this strange structure here. What is this? And that's looking more like the Marathon engine, actually, with this, half-tile... Oh, no, you couldn't do a shadow like this in the Doom engine or the Marathon engine, so I don't know what that is. Build? Could it be the Build engine? You could do it in the Build engine. Oh my goodness, this is quite a thing. I guess we've got a little bit of platforming to do, it looks like. Alright, I'm up for it. Let's pretend we're in the Willy Wonka world and climb around inside of TV stuff. And where is this going to lead? There's another door up at the top. Hopefully don't fall. Very creepy. Alright, what's going on? Oh my goodness. Alright, so now we are at the point where things are going to start to get a little horrific. I found a key. I think that's one of the main objectives. And I gotta get out of static world here before... Ah! Oh, I thought I fell. Gotta get out of static world before it eats up all of my hard drive space. These, if you've never done rendering or any kind of, like, video work, whenever you get a space like this, it's not the best thing for your file size. Alright, so what do we have still to do in here? It looks like we can fall down. Oh, we've got a giant grandfather clock embedded in the wall. It's always a good sign. I'm not sure quite why. And it looks like one more door, which might actually take us out of this environment. Okay, now things are creepy. This is the stuff I was expecting to find right from the get-go. What are you? Can I talk to you? Can I interact? No. You're just gonna stand there and be creepy, right? Alright, so we found the space alien creepland. Can I fall in this? Nope. We've got searchlights. We've got dudes we can't make out that are like silhouettes. Some of them are red. This one's green. Not sure why. Oh, and we've got fire. You know, I haven't seen a lot of worlds that actually remind me much of the worlds from the original game, which, like I said, that's totally fine. Because, like I said, this is not a direct remake or anything, but it's surprising that they didn't go for more shoutouts, even. So I guess we're in sci-fi inspired world. Very, kind of primitive geometry in this one, but still quite interesting to look at. It's a little harder to suss out the depth when you're walking across a space like that with very little in the way of shadow. But I think we've got things under control. I, again, kept thinking I can, like, run if I hit shift. So trained from playing so many first-person shooters or something. Can I fall straight down there? Nope. Alright, I'm just gonna have to walk slowly down to the next ring of fire. I see another key. And you know what I'm thinking is, when we get to that next area, we should probably wrap up the episode, because I don't want to show off the entire game. I want to leave a little bit for you guys to discover on your own. Because Yume Nikki 3D is completely free, and I'm going to have the link in the description if you want to go ahead and try it. That is a common occurrence, by the way, if you're not familiar with the Indie Impressions way. Basically, every day, different game, we look through it, have some impressions, do a little bit of analytical look at it, maybe just kind of deconstruct a little bit like an art critique, and then, of course, the game is always available for either purchase or download, depending on if it's free or paid. Most of them are free. Anyway, let's go on to... This looks like the end of Sci-Fi World. And where's that going to take us? Alright, we've got some sort of foresty place. Yeah, this totally looks like the Build engine. I'm going to guess it probably is that. Developer did write somewhere that it was an older engine, so kind of figured. Although you can make newer engines look like older engines with a little bit of work and a keen eye for what exactly makes them characteristic. Okay, I'm trying to see, like, what this theme even is. It's like, we've got forest everywhere, but then we've also got a little bit of urbanism. The theme here is Shadow Warrior locales, I suppose. Ooh, spider. Hello. And... things are getting darker. Oh, goodness. Here we go. Are these flying monkey heads? What even are those? I can't tell. They're only on the one side, though. Anyway, I said I was going to end the episode when I reached the end of Sci-fi World, so I guess I should probably make good on that promise. Yume Nikki 3D, very cool. I definitely have been having a great time walking through this crazy environment and seeing what it is that we can find. I haven't woken up yet, and with the look of these giant creepy mouths, maybe I'm never going to, I don't know. But I think you should try it out, especially if you're a fan of the old one. Similar experience, totally well adapted into 3D. I didn't really think I would ever see a thing like this, and I hope to see lots more things like this. So if you are out there and know something like this that you'd like to see on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comments, as well as let me know any of your opinions about what's going on in this game. If you have a little bit more, information about Yume Nikki as a game, I'd love to hear your opinions on that as well, because, I'm not really an expert or anything. I only played it a little bit. In fact, what I played in my video of it was about all I actually did play. So let me know your perspective, coming from someone, maybe who has played more of it. And, of course, just in general, anything about the series you'd like to talk about is always cool. And check out the other stuff in the social media links, aside from the game link itself. Let me know what's going on with you. And I guess we'll wrap this episode up. So thanks, everybody, for coming. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I will be back again tomorrow. New episodes are every single day. And be sure to check on head on over to indie-impressions.com for even more in the series. Over 550 other indie games that I've covered. Yeah, things are getting real dark and creepy now. I don't know what that is, but it's terrifying. It's reminding me a little bit of the Mystic Knights of Oingo Boingo for some reason. I'm not sure why. But thank you again. And I hope to see you back tomorrow. And I hope you have a lovely night. Talk to you later.